Hi Charlie and Nina. So this is just a quick video on how to access your website. So first of all, I have sent you an email, and on that email is a link and a username and password. If you click on the link, pop in the username and password and then click sign me in. That will then bring you to this screen here. Ignore any notifications on the right about payments being due. There's no payments due. I'm not really sure why that appears, so just ignore that. You want to come across to the left hand side where it says websites and click on here. That will bring you to this screen here. There'll be a little thumbnail of your website, and then below that you can see edit website, and if you just click on that. That basically then loads Bramble, which is the software I've used to build the website. If you've got a fast connection, it will load in a couple of seconds. If not, it can take about 30 seconds to load. So the first thing to say before we get started is if you want to make any changes and you're not sure about what you're doing, just let me know, because obviously you have support built into your package, so you have half an hour of free support from me every month. So anything you're not sure about, just let me know. But basically what I'm going to show you around now is when you load up Bramble, it loads your homepage. You'll see lots of strange symbols and different things that don't look quite right. Basically, you can just ignore them. They're different elements of the website which have been turned off for phones and turned off for tablets. So really the main thing to look at, same as like the slider, it will appear all stacked up on top of each other and repeated. Just completely ignore that. If you want to change the image slider on the homepage, I would suggest that I do that for you at this point. But if you want to make any text alterations, if you scroll down the page, you'll see you can select any section of text, which then highlights in this green box, which then means you can then alter that text much like you would a Word document. So again, you'd click the next box below and you can alter that text again, add more text, delete some wording, do whatever it is you want to do. There's a couple of things to note. You will need to, once you've made changes, you will need to hit this green publish button when you're happy, and you'll need to do that about every 5 minutes. So if you spend a long time editing your homepage or a page on your website and you don't publish, when you go to publish, Bramble will probably lock you out because it's got a fail-safe built in. So if you are doing work on there, I often say to people, if it's all text work, you're better to write the text in Word and then obviously come over to Bramble and just paste it straight in and publish. That way you won't get locked out and make a lot of changes which then don't get saved. So you'll see elements like this as well. There's a box here with interior design and a photo, and if you scroll down, that box is repeated because one is the version for the computer and the tablet, and the bottom one is the version for a phone. So if you do alter a box up here, like the interior design box, you've made some changes in the text there, you can copy it and then just scroll down. If you see the box repeated, paste the text in there. That way you've changed it for both the tablet version and the computer version, and also for the mobile version. So yeah, so have a little quicker look around and you'll see some things may be repeated. Your logos, for example, they're repeated as well because they change how they behave on tablets and phones. So initially this might look a bit confusing, but what I'd say to most people is if you leave the images and the logos and the fiddly bits for me to edit, and if you want to make simple text alterations, so for example, if you want to paste a new testimonial in, change your phone number, change some wording, obviously you're free to do those sorts of changes yourself. Again, there's a mobile version of a footer, and then there's the main master footer below that. So yeah, basically you can make simple text changes, scroll through and do that. Image changes, I can show you a video how to do that. It might be a bit complicated to go over in this particular video, so that's something we can look at separately. But that's how to make basically simple text changes to the website. If you've made an error, so for example, if we've just deleted something off here and we didn't mean to do it and we think, oh, I don't know what to do now, you do have up the top here an undo button, which will put it back. But if you've made various changes and you're not quite sure you've done the right thing, basically don't hit the publish button and just exit and leave without hitting publish. That way you've done no damage to the website, and when you load it back up, you haven't saved any of the changes you've made, so the site is all completely safe and fine. So if you do get in a muddle or you're not sure what you've done, best practice is don't publish the changes and just exit. And the final thing I'll show you is how to navigate between the different pages, because obviously Bramble loads up with your home page. In the top menu here, you'll see all your other pages on your website. So for example, the About page, that will then load into Bramble. You could then make changes to that. Again, you've got the About section here for the tablets and the phones, which is then repeated here for the mobile version because again, it changes how it displays. So if you edit the top version, paste the same text in, edit the bottom version too. The bottom bit is not repeated. There's no change in how that appears on devices. So the Nina story is this one section, and the Charlotte story is just one section as well. So yeah, fairly straightforward to navigate around. Same with things like testimonials. You'd be able to go in and add one. So if you just had a new one, you could obviously put a couple of returns in and paste in the new whatever it was, paste that in there. If you've got it in Word, or type it straight in, either way is fine. Or if you wanted to remove one, you could, like a Word document, you could highlight it and remove one. Just change the spacing if you do that. Yeah, and again, if I've made some changes there which I don't want to save, so if I just leave, I didn't publish, so I've done no damage at all. And the final thing, I guess, to show you is the gallery. I definitely would leave me to look at the gallery page, because it's all about the correct image sizes. So if you want to add images, just let me know and I'll add them. But if you want to change the order, you can click and you'll see everything's nicely in line. Everything's sort of square in this particular gallery. And then the gallery below is all the portrait images are in a separate gallery. So that's just something to bear in mind. You can't pick a portrait image up and stick it in the landscape gallery. It doesn't really work like that. But if you decided, for example, you think this image should come later, or this image should be further up the page, you can use the move tool and move them around. You know, you might decide that's the first image you want people to see, so you can move those images around. Sometimes it won't let you drag them from one direction to another, so that time it will. If it does get stuck and you can't, just drag them up. Eventually it'll all catch up and move them exactly where you want to. So a bit of shuffling around with the little move tool, moving things backwards and forwards. You can then get the gallery how you want it. Same with the portrait version. When you suddenly see there's 4 in a row on the portrait because they fit better, same thing, you can just move them around as you want to. And if there's images in there which you think, actually I don't want that image, there's a little trash can for remove. So you can hit the trash can and remove an image that you no longer want. So yeah, that's quite simple, fairly straightforward. Again, adding new images, I'd leave me to do that, but I could obviously add them, then you could move them around, change the order. So yeah, that's really about helping you to move images and delete images from the gallery. And again, what I'm going to do is not publish and leave. And again, I've done no damage at all. So hopefully this video covers how to get you access to the site, how to make simple text changes, how to move things in the gallery, how to add a testimonial. That's kind of the basics that you're going to need to move things around. You do have support from me, so if you're not comfortable doing things or you're not sure what you're doing, it's always best to just check with me first or ask me to have a look at things for you, and then you can kind of stick to the bits that you are comfortable with for the time being. Yeah, so I hope that helps, and thanks for watching.